Let's call it what it is. Cryptocurrency is confusing. Is it a stock? Is it currency? Is it safe? Well, this is very hard to answer in just 4 minutes. Here are 4 fundamental questions answered by experts to help you understand the basics.
You're watching iHeartSTEM. Today we'll tackle one STEM topic I learned from experts. Just 4 key questions with each answer under 1 minute or less.
To understand crypto, let's talk about the banking system for a second. The traditional banking system contains centralized ledgers of funds owned by banks and overseen by the US government. You can think about it as each bank having a massive Excel spreadsheet that keeps track of what you have, what you owe, etc. A lot of people don't like the centralized banking system. I've heard this for years working in financial services. They think it creates wealth inequality. There's fees. They see it as having security issues, a whole host of other reasons. So crypto was created to decentralize the ledger. It's a platform that serves as a currency ledger, but no one owns it. Anyone can participate and oversee it, so you can have one or many gatekeepers. And there's no agency or government or private company that's coming in and controlling that ledger. Now, you can only add to the ledger, meaning once something's been approved, you can't delete it. And the currency that's being recorded in the ledger is the currency of the ledger. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, or altcoin. And the value changes with supply and demand. As of today, it's not, but is it trying to be? Depends on who you ask. In fact, in 2021, El Salvador became the first country to make Bitcoin an official currency along with the US dollar. We use fiat currencies in most countries today because the government backing gives us confidence that what we make today will have some value tomorrow. But a currency can quickly lose its value if too much is printed, which governments usually do in response to helping to solve an issue. Here's an example. In the late 1990s, Zimbabwe did a series of reforms that led to the collapse of its banking system, and it also entered a war. By 2008, it had printed so much money, its monthly inflation rate was 79.6 billion%, which drove its currency value to nothing. By 2009, it had adopted the US dollar, and since then it's attempted 6 times to create its own currency. Now, a lot of people like crypto because it has somewhat of a fixed supply, meaning you can't just go out there and print new coins whenever you want, but it's still very volatile. And in fact, because you can burn coins and somewhat decrease the supply, you can also increase the value, which is different from traditional money. How you make money with cryptocurrencies will continue to evolve, but one of the biggest ways right now is by engaging with the currency themselves. For example, with Ethereum, you can do something called staking, which is where you validate and monitor the transaction, and you'll get rewarded with a varying level of Ethereum based on the type of staking that you do. Similarly, with Bitcoin, you can do something called mining, which is verifying the transaction and getting rewarded in Bitcoin. You could also hold a cryptocurrency like you would a traditional investment like a stock and see if the value increases over time. If you wanted to make money through interest, you could do it in 2 ways. You could actually lend out your cryptocurrency and charge interest, or you could store it within a specific platform like Coinbase, which will actually reward you with interest for storing with them. Another interesting way to make money with cryptocurrency is to get a cryptocurrency credit card. So similar to a traditional credit card, you spend on your card, and instead of getting rewarded in some sort of points, you get rewarded in cryptocurrency. The lack of global oversight is problematic, and we've seen it with the collapse of various companies like Celsius Network and the FTX debacle. Because there is no global consistency, a lack of compliance, and no true owner, no one wants to step in and help those who invested when these companies go under, unlike when Lehman went under and the government stepped in to help. Another thing that was really surprising to me is the amount of energy consumption that some of these cryptocurrencies use. Bitcoin uses more energy than most countries and leaves a significant carbon, land, and water impact. For example, they estimate that 1 Bitcoin transaction has the same greenhouse gas emissions as 1 million Visa transactions. Like a lot of things in life too, those who have the most money end up controlling crypto, and this becomes problematic because it kind of gets away from the objectives of the technology itself. And last, something you've probably heard of is it's fraught with bad actors. Scams and investment fraud are on the rise, and because of how anonymous identities are on crypto, it opens itself up to the black market. This was hands down the most complicated episode to film because of all of the nuanced topics, and I'll be honest, I'm still not sure how I fully feel about crypto. If you're like me, I hope at a minimum though, you can follow along in articles that you read a little bit easier than before. I'll see you next week.